Hey, Shalom, I want to start off with by giving no praise to Yahweh, Bashem, El Shah, Bashem, Kakadash, that belongs to the apostles of GMS and honestly brothers in work, the most high in truth and in sincerity. So, hey, just as, we had been warned before, warned was, things that have been said before, Esau's going to get his, his cronies to basically push all of these different agendas that he has. Now, this is one that's been making the rounds, right? It's from that that Giza Lupe fiasco, right? Which I mean, to be fair, to be honest, who even listens to music anymore? Even some people on the social have been saying that, like, this man just trying to stay relevant, calling him a sellout because he's actually made songs against all of these like Western pharmaceuticals. One of his lyrics was something to the effect of poisonous pills or whatever. Okay, so hey, what can you say? These are the charlatans. These are what some of the leaders of Israel. Right now, certain people are gonna. You see that 4,832 people like that. Like I said once again, he's not really a big star anymore, but he's still a voice. You say Lupe Fiasco, you at least know kick push, and coast. He still, you know that song, even but he really kind of died out because even as I'm looking, I don't know if it would show a blue tick on this screen, but he hasn't even got a blue tick, meaning he's not even that big a celebrity anymore. Like I said, I don't know if it would show up there. But all of that said to say this, look, Esau's gonna be peddling and pushing all the stops. Is that the turn of phrase? Pulling all the stops, I think, is a turn of phrase, maybe, right? To basically push his agenda, right? So you can see here, he's just basically pushing a load of BS, right, as his master as well. So we'll jump straight into the scriptures. This is Isaiah 9:16, right? For the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. Okay, so if you follow this man's example, right, you take what this man says, you're gonna lead to your own destruction. Why? Because now it's the serum, but next thing you know, it's gonna be that mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip spoken of in Revelation 13:16, right? So yeah, he can speak all of that good stuff now, but hey, yeah, he just sold himself out, man. Right, but is he a particular leader? No, not necessarily. But as the scripture saying, what was that? Sirach 13:23, when the rich, uh, how's the phrase? Just grab it. You know, yes, it's Sirach 13:23. When a rich man speaketh, every man holdeth his tongue, and look what he saith. They extol it to the clouds. But if the poor man speak, they say, what fellow is this? And if he stumble, they will hope to overthrow him. Right, so when a rich man speaketh, when someone who's got the rich, or someone who's a celebrity, or someone who's well known, or someone of a particular position, right, speaks, people wanna listen to what it is that they have to say, right? Which is not why ultimately all of these sellouts, Esau's gonna get rid of them anyway. Why? Because if you have the ability to influence people to do Esau's bidding, you have the ability to influence people to do Yahweh's bidding. You may have a change of heart. You may turn, and then do you know what Esau's gonna do to you? He's gonna kill you, right? But that's what you get for making a deal with the devil. That's what you get for putting him as your God, man, right? So yeah, it says, let's get some precepts on, the leaders of Israel, man. This is Isaiah 3:12. It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. No, man, are not women rulers over our people? It says, O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths, right? Also, children are their oppressors. Israel was the firstborn of the Most High, pursuant to Exodus 4:22. Therefore, all the nations are, quote, younger than Israel. Right? You read that in Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Right? In fact, we can get that because at the end of the day, that is the end goal. These heathen nations, they're all coming together with one consent for our destruction. Right? This is Psalms 83:2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. they have taken crafty counsel against our people and have consulted against our hidden ones. Right? So let's break this down. So for low down enemies make a tumult. So the enemies of Israel, right? Let's look into this word here, tumult, right? A murmur, a growling, a roar, right? To growl, murmur, roar, right? To be boisterous, be turbulent, right? So basically, they're planning, they're roaring, they're making plans against Israel, right? It says, and they that have lifted up their, and they that hate thee have lifted up they're proud of it, Israel, right? They hate us, right? So they have taken crafty counsel against our people. So to basically be saying, oh, the people most likely, the ones that are in need are this, so-called Negro, the so-called Hispanic, and the so-called Native American, basically the tribes. That's what these men have been saying, right? That's what he has been saying. He said, hey, these are the ones that are in need of the serum, right? Now, that is a crafty counsel, because you even look at it of like, in the Israelites scattered in the land of Ham, right? They ain't dropping dead over there from this, how does the scriptures phrase it? I always try to use the wording that the scriptures use, so that Esau can't be like, oh, I want to strike a video, this, that, and the other, right? But all the plagues, man, from this particular plague, from this pestilence, that's the word I'm looking for, right? So they have taken crafty counsel against our people. Yeah, so I was saying, yeah, those people, our Israelites in the land of Ham, they ain't dropping dead from this pestilence, right? How do we know? Because we got family back there, man. Well, I got family back there. I know certain brothers of family, and hey, I remember speaking to my mother, and then she, as witchcraft, because that's what Esau's been doing. He's been peddling that witchcraft, right, to basically get people afraid, right? But I then actually asked her seriously, like, but mom, seriously, how many people do you know personally that have, dropped dead from the particular thing? She couldn't name anyone. Now remember that the dynamics, I don't know how it is over there in the States, all the parts of the world, but the dynamics there in the land of Ham is everyone talks to everyone, man. Right? So if someone did drop dead, you would hear about it. Right? She was talking about this person's friend and all of that sort of stuff. So we know what Esau is playing at. This is a crafty counsel against the children of Israel, okay? It says, and consulted against our hidden ones. So they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So that's why they're happy to call us black, our black man. You go to all of these different heathen nations. I remember brother pointed out, I was like, yo, in the eyes of all of these heathen nations, all the Israelites have been, all what speak for the head tribe, all Judah has been, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi have been, is slaves, right? Whereas the elites of these different nations, they know otherwise, right? But the image and the history that they push out is, no, you lot were just slaves, right? You weren't, quote, civilized. You didn't have any form of technology, which the technology that we had was more superior than the technology that Esau has, in the sense that it didn't destroy the earth in the process, man. Right now, were Jake wicked? Yeah, they were wicked. Yeah, they were wicked, man. But you look at I forgot the film about Jake and the Latin tribes, man, right? But basically doing all manner of wicked stuff, which is why Israel got taken out, right? Which is not taken out, but this is why Israel got brought low, right? Now the Lord has given Esau the blessing of scriptures talk about how he is wiser than Daniel, right? And through his wisdom, he's gotten himself much riches. That's Ezekiel the 28th chapter. Okay, and he's been able to do certain things. You can't even what wiser than down here. This man's been able to do certain things by way of his miracles. You read that in the book of Revelation, right? That through his miracles he was going to deceive people, right? If I'm remembering the scripture correctly, but base speaks about that miracle, which is his technology, right? Now, in terms of what he's been able to do, that technology, he's been it's the Lord put the spirit on him, but in the wake of that, he's destroyed the earth, right? But I digress. That's a different topic for a different day. It says they have taken crafty counsel against our people and consulted against our hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's why they're doing their utmost best to make sure that the knowledge that we are the children of Israel stays under wraps. That's the one thing they don't want us to know. right? They don't mind us being blacks. They don't mind us being Spicks or whatever, what have you, right? But as soon as we say we're Israel, as soon as we say that actually, right, we are, you know, we're a royal people, and we're gonna be acting to the best of our ability as a royal people. That scares them. Why? Let me grab that in the precepts. If I can find it. I know the chat, but I never remember how it's phrased. I think it's around that 17th verse, maybe. Uh-huh. Um, Okay, I'll start from 20. You can read through it. It's Judas 5 and 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against this people, and they sin against their power, right, let us consider that this shall be their ruin. So that is why we are in the situation that we're in. Read Baruch says we are yet this day in our captivity. Read Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, 15th verse, and down. Right, basically speaking about how we're in captivity, we're in a lower state. Okay, it says let us consider that this shall be their ruin. So when Israel go off, we get punished, right? You only have unknown. Let me grab it, cause I have, lest I butcher. Don't want to do a butchering job. Says Amos 3 and 2 says, you only have unknown of all the families of the earth, therefore I'll punish you for all your iniquities. Right, so because the Lord is dealing with us, that's why he has punished us. Right, whereas these heathen nations, what has he done? All right, he's done this is Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore this heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Okay, so basically, because the Lord ain't jacking these heathens up straight away, they're just continuing on in their evil, right? But is the Lord letting them go? No, the Lord is just there, patient. Scriptures talk about how Yahweh is long suffering. Okay, but let me carry on. Judith 5 and 20 again. It says, and now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error against his people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be the ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them, which is what these heathen nations have done. But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them, and their power be for them, and we become a reproach before all the world. Right, so basically, when Israel is doing the right thing, the Lord's got our back. Okay, but hey, this time around, the Lord's basically said, "Look, to hell with the wicked of my people." You read that in Amos the 9th chapter, right? It says, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword," right? And then the Lord's only coming back for the elect, right? He's coming back to save the elect, right? Protect the elect, and make an example, right? By saving the elect, so that everyone can know that Yahweh is the power of Israel, right? So we carry on back here, Psalms 83. It says that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, right? They're confederate against these. All these heathen nations, they're against the children of Israel, man. Right? They're in agreement in their hatred, right? And then it lists some of them. It says the tabernacles of Edom. So Edom, the Edomites, so-called white people, right? They are the enemies of the children of Israel, right? It says, and the Ishmaelites are so-called Arabs, says of Moab, so-called Chinese, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, right, so-called Japanese, and Amalek, the chief house of Edom, right, so-called those people inhabiting the land of Israel now, says the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre, okay. So yeah, speaking on the heathen nation, that's a long, what's the word I'm looking for? A long digression. Is that the word? Digress. I don't know. It says Jeremiah 10:21. So if the pastors have become brutish and have not sought the Yahweh, therefore they shall not prosper, and all their flock shall be scattered. Right. And Jeremiah is several where Jeremiah is just getting on the on the leaders of Israel. Why? Because they ain't right. Okay. This is Ezekiel 13:2-9. It's the son of man prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy and say thou unto them that prophesy of their own hearts, hear the word of Yahweh. Right now, this particular individual here, he isn't a prophet, right? But he's in a position of power over Israel. He has influence over Israel. He has what people call a platform, right? And he's misusing that platform to peddle to peddle lies. And right now, it's just the serum. But you already know Esau's going to be pulling out his his the jakes that have sold out to him when it comes time for the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. It says, verse 3, it says, thus saith the Lord power, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. Right? It says, O Israel, that prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. It says, ye have not gone up into the gaps, neither made up the head for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord. Right? It says, they have seen vanity, lying divination, saying, Yahweh saith, and Yahweh hath not sent them. And they have made others to hope that they would confirm the word. Have ye not seen a vain vision, and have ye not spoken a lying divination? Whereas ye say, Yahweh saith it, albeit I have not spoken. Right? It says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies. Therefore, behold, I'm against you, saith the Lord power, and mine hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and divine lies, and they shall not be in the assembly of my people. Neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel, neither shall they enter in the land of Israel. You shall know that I am the Lord power. So all of these different people that coming up with a different doctrine, yeah, the Lord was like, okay, cool, you say I'm gonna do that, but you know what? The Lord's gonna judge them for that. Why? Because they've got blood on their hands, man. Right? I'm just gonna grab one more Micah 3. Is it Micah 3 and 1 Micah 3. Mark 3:11, perfect. And on this says, therefore, this is the heads thereof judge for a reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord Yahweh and say, is not Yahweh among us? None evil come upon us. Right. So and that is what these wicked Israelites be doing, man. They're teaching for a reward. They're teaching for filthy lucre, right? And the Lord once again is going to let them do it for now, but the Lord's going to judge them for this. Okay. So as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. To the next time, I will say shalom.